Brothers and sisters in Islam, from our duties as Muslims with this deen to understand in full depth what is the responsibilities that I have to do when I say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah and became Muslim. This deen, the deen that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to all the human beings since Adam alayhi salam up to Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. The same deen, Allah ta'budu illallah. Just you have to worship nobody except Allah. And this is the message from all prophets and messengers to all the human beings since day one. As faith, we have one God, and this God is the Creator, and His name is Allah. As Sharia, as law, we have a lot of differences based on the people and the time and the environment and their limit of culture. From our duties as Muslims toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, something we used to see it always with as-salah. Whenever Allah mentioned as-salah, He mentioned the other thing. Now, what is the meaning that Allah mentions always salah and zakah? Salah and zakah. أقام الصلاة آتوا الزكاة. أقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة. Means both in the same level of what? In the same level of what? Very important. And even in some surahs, some verses, Allah Azza wa Jal, He make definition for your brothers in Islam. How He will reach that level to be your brother in this deen. He said, الَّذِينَ إِنْ أَقَامُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتَوُا الزَّكَاةَ فَإِنْ أَقَامُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتَوُا فَإِخْوَانُكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ. So salah and zakah, salah and zakah, salah and zakah. Subhanallah, salah is something between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Zakah is something between you and your community. Today, inshallah, I'll try the minutes that I have to touch the zakah subject, inshallah, in general talking, because people always asking questions about these things. Now, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions az-zakah after the salah in the Quran, all the verses means He's talking about the fariḍah, not about the nafilah, not about the sadaqat. He's speaking about az-zakah as a fard, as an obligation. الَّذِينَ أَقَامُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتَوُا الزَّكَاةَ. Which zakah? The zakah is fariḍah, part of our pillars as Muslims. إِقَامَةُ الصَّلَاةِ إِيتَاءُ الزَّكَاةِ. Now, what is the meaning in Arabic of zakah? Zakah. In Arabic, when you go to the root of the kalima, zakah means growing. Growing. For that reason, subhanallah, when you pay zakah, your money is not getting lost or less. You are not losing and your money will not get less. It will give you what? More and growing. How? If you go to the numbers, it's not. I can't see when I pay, for example, $100 from out of my money means my money is not growing up. I'm losing money. That's in the numbers. But if you look at the blessing, at the barakah that you will have, at the multiplying, rewarding from Allah physically on the floor, your money will be what? More and more. So, az-zakah means growing, numu. For that reason, to let you understand, anything you have as wealth, as properties, has nothing to get out of it, money, has nothing to do zakah with it. For example, your house, the house that you live in, should I pay zakah about the value of my house? The answer is what? No. Why? Because this house does not give me income. I'm spending from my income upon my house. My car, the car that I drive, Also the same thing. My clothes, same thing. Furniture, same thing. So as zakah, just you pay zakah for the growing wealth. Any wealth, any property, you have income out of it, you pay zakah or do zakah out of that amount in the due time. This is number one. Number two, how I can calculate my zakah. What is the conditions before to know for whom you have to pay the zakah? Me as Muslim, when I say this is my due time, we have very similar case in this country, which is the insurance, car insurance or house insurance. The car insurance has due time up to 6 months or 2 years. Let me say about 1 year. They will tell you today, April 3rd, 12 noon, you are what? Starting your coverage up to next year, April 3rd, 2016, 12 noon. It will be what? Expired. Zakah, something like that. You have to calculate when I should start calculate my hawl. My hawl. Now, the first condition you have to achieve to be qualified to pay zakah, to own something, we call it in Arabic an-nisab. What is it? An-nisab. What's an-nisab? Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sallu ala rasulullah. He, as a messenger, as a Rasul, he said the minimum that you have to start, calculate, or count your hawl is 20 mithqal. 20 mithqal. Now mithqal, something after that you do the calculation, equal in our language these days 85 grams of gold. 85 grams of gold times the price in the market today. For example, this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, if you own 20 mithqal, which is 85 grams of gold as the value, in that time you started to have what? The nisab. Now, to make it easy, if I say, for example, today in the market the gold price for each gram $10, means my nisab how much? 850. If any Muslim, any Muslimah own 850 in the side, more than your daily needs, more than your food, your drink, your rent, your whatever expenses every day, and you have this saving in the side, you don't need this. Now you have the first condition. After you reach that level, you have to wait 1 year that you have that minimum amount, 850 or more, not less. If you have less than that amount and the price is fixed, $10, not going up or down, means you have to recount the hawl another time. It's not complicated but very accurate. So let me see, I have this amount for 1 year more than my daily needs. Saving account. Next year, April 3rd, 12 noon, for example, in that day, you have to calculate how much you have to pull from your money, zakat. Now, most of the people sometimes they make a mistake. They thought next year I have to make calculation out of the 850. No, we forgot that amount. That just to start, account the hawl. At the end of the year, in that day, specific day, not yesterday, not tomorrow, in that day, I have to calculate all what I have. Even if I earned yesterday $10,000, it will be including my calculation because it's with me in that day, on that day specifically. For example, let me say I have cash, I have stock in the market, I have inventory in the business, you calculate all what you have, then you make the calculation 2.5 out of all what you have in that day. Let me say, for example, if before April 3rd, I lost in my business 100,000. it will not be in the calculation. So the calculation, all what you have in that day, the hawl do for me as zakah. Now, let me say, because this is cases we face. If I have money but not in my hand, I give loan for my brother or my cousin. If the money is not in your hand, you shouldn't pay zakah for that amount. Who will pay the zakah for that amount? The person that he has the amount in that time in his hand. And the right of the faqir will never be touched. He will receive his zakah from that person that he owns that money in that moment. So, any loan, if the money is not in your hand, you shouldn't pay zakah about that loan unless you receive it. It will be in the next year, because April 3rd, 2016, we start another year. Got it, inshallah? So, very simple. Nisab and hawl. Nisab, 850, or let me say, 85 times the price of the gold in the market in that day. And you can pull the price in your Google and ask you why, because sisters, you know the price of the gold every day. Then you calculate, at the end of the year, you say, what I have to pull 2.5 and name it. Even if you didn't send that money in that day, no big deal. At least you know in that day how much I have to give zakah as faridah. Now this money, the 2.5, is not ours, not yours, not mine. If you eat it, means you steal that money from the faqir. وَالَّذِينَ فِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ مَعْلُومٌ لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ. Those that they have in their money rights, very known rights, to whom? To the sa'il, the one who asks, and the mahroom, the one who never have this kind of wealth. It's not your money. One of the ulama in Al-Andalus, he gave fatwa for the rich people. If he didn't give his zakah, to cut his hand. Other students, they said, yeah, Imam, we can't see this in the Quran. Allah didn't say if anybody didn't pay zakah, cut his hand. He said, this money belonged to whom? They said, for the faqir. And if you eat that money, it means you stole the money from the faqir. And what's the hukum for the sariqah if you steal in Islam? Cut the head. Oh my God. It's not my money. When you give that amount of money with this kind of good faith and good intention to the fuqara, believe me, you will have a lot of blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your other income. And I have cases, wallahi, they told me, we give in the morning 100, Allah return it back to us in the evening 1,000. Just the trust. And when you pay the zakah, pay it with happiness. Clear? Now this is the first topic, which is what is the definition of the zakah? How can I calculate my zakah? We have al-nisab and we have al-hawl. Now, some people, they have more than one house. House for me to live in, a house for what? For rent. Or he have more cars, for example, in the market. Or he have, for example, a piece of land back home, and this piece of land produce, for example, olives or oil, and he sold that product. Doesn't matter, whatever you have, business, all what you have to calculate all the income that you have, not during the year. Don't calculate, wallahi, in the first month I earn 1 million. Second month I earn 2 million. Maybe I lost that million, I spent that million in that month. It's not like that. On that day, all what is left from the income, or the rent, or the inventory, all what is left under your own, it will be include what? Your calculation. Now, another question about your wife's jewelry. The huli and nisa. If this gold or silver or whatever your wives have as a gift from you to her when you marry her, or also after that, not the intention to save your money as gold, has no zakah on it. Has no zakah on it. Why? Because it's not a growing money, not a growing income. Something to wear it as zina, hulay. Has not to do with zakah, anything with that thing, because it's her gift. But if my intention to save money by buying these things to my wife, even if she wear it, if my intention to save it, it will be including your capital. The intention is very important. Got it, inshallah? So, أحد العلماء, one of the scholars said, no, you have to pay zakat for the hulay of the nisa, the zina, the jewelry that you wife, which is the jumhur, the majority of the fiqh is no, because if you go to the value of that gift after 10 years, it would equal what? Zero. Because this value, for example, you bought this jewelry for $1,000, alright? Each 1,000 you have to pay $25 for that 1,000 as zakat. After 10 years, after 20 years, the value of that gift will be zero. And this is not the wisdom of the zakat. The wisdom of the zakat, just you pull money out of the growing wealth. Clear? So no zakat for your jewelry as hulay nisa unless you have the intention to save your money. Because I know people, they bought what? Golden dinners and save this gold as what? Saving. This is absolutely, you have to pull the 2.5% of that income as zakah for your community. The next point, for whom I have to give my zakat. In our history, when we had, for example, Khalifa and government, they used to have department as the IRS in this country. Their job to follow you by having document about what you have as wealth, as properties, as income, and they would calculate on behalf of you how much you have to pay zakah, and they would take this amount, and they have their own people in the government that they receive their zakah. So they used to work on behalf of us. These days we don't have these departments. So we have to do it what? Individually. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, He explained to us. Allah says, إِنَّمَا الصَّدَقَاتُ لِلْفُقَرَاءِ وَالْمَسَاكِينِ وَالْعَامِلِينَ عَلَيْهَا وَفِي الرِّقَابِ وَالْغَارِمِينَ وَمُؤَلَّفَ قُلُوبُهُمْ وَابْنِ السَّبِيلِ وَفِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. So eight people, they are qualified to receive the zakat. Islamically, as a smart decision, each person, he has to look for his relatives first. You know your relatives, I don't know them. I know my relatives, you don't know them. So each one, he is responsible to cover what? His relatives. If there is gap in my side or your side, we can what? As community, start what? Make rotation. Guys, I have this family. If you have extra, I have this person. So we have to help each other. Some people, they have money, zakah money, but they don't have, for example, people in their relatives they deserve or they are qualified to have zakah. Ask your friends, your neighbors, in the masjid, in any place you work. You have to ask. Allah Azza wa Jal, in the Quran, He asks us to do tahari, search. Don't give the zakah for any person you face because he's just begging you, please give me without, because this is faridah. As you pray the salah, can you pray, for example, dhuhr before the adhan? Exactly, you can't give the zakah for any person just because he's begging or looking at your what? Door. You have to search. It's a faridah. What is the differences between faqir and miskin? The scholars says, Al-Faqir, the one who has income and he has expenses, but his expenses more than his income, he is faqir. As all of you, right? Don't laugh, because wallahi sometimes you don't know. There is fuqara among us and we don't know them. We thought al-faqir, he has to be what? No legs, no hands, and dirty person. No. If his income less than his normal expenses, I'm not like go to Las Vegas every month, normal expenses, rent, food, drink, school, whatever, this person is faqir. Now the worst case of the faqir, the miskin. And who is the miskin? The miskin, he has expenses and almost no income. And Allah called him miskin from sukoon. What's a sukoon? No movement. And that person, because no income, he couldn't even move. Second, askanahu al-faqr. The poverty make him silent. He can't do anything. You can't see him in any wedding party, in any gathering, because he has nothing to do. He can't even ride a car. And those are also among the community. We have to search among our relatives or friends, al-masakin. The dalil that the miskin worse than the faqir, if you go in our fiqh for all the kaffarat. The kaffarat means when you do a mistake in your ibadah, you pay kaffara. Kaffara. If you make an oath and you break that oath, you have to pay kaffara. This is kaffara. Always Allah mentions, subhanahu wa ta'ala, first person who should receive this kaffara, miskin. Masakin. It'amu 10 masakin. Or 60 miskina. So the miskin worse than the faqir. And our duty toward those people in the community to help them in different ways. Absolutely, maybe in the future, what's the strategy that you have to, as community, not to give him sometimes the money, maybe you can create for him what? Jobs, so you will have income out of the job in our zakah money. So this is al-faqir, this is al-miskin. I will mention also, because the time is very tight, the other very important people that they are qualified to receive zakah, al-gharimin. Nobody look at those, by the way. In our culture, not in our religion, rules of religion. No, in our culture, nobody look at al-gharimin. Who are al-gharimin? Al-gharim min al-ghurm. Al-ghurm, the one who has loans over his neck. He's not faqir, he's not miskin, but he has loans. Loans for build the house, loans for university for his son, his daughter, loans sometimes for going to the hospital to do certain surgeries, and he is not complaining. Nobody knows about his situation. Some people, ya ikhwa, maybe not very famous here, but among the ummah, they don't have food in their houses because of the loans. He cuts a lot of his luxury for our life because of the, you want to pay this loan off. No vacations, no meat every day, food, no dress, no. Cut a lot of things. This person, Allah mentioned him in the ayah. We should give him from the zakat. With one condition, the loan has to be in halal cause. Not wallahi he has loan for doing something haram, absolutely will not help him. But this person, we should give him from our zakah income, our zakah fund. The next one, al-mu'allafa qulubuhum. Those the four types I will explain them today. Al-mu'allaf, who's al-mu'allafa qulubuhum? Those that they converted to Islam recently, or he's interesting to know the Islam, and he maybe has a problem with his community. They will, for example, cut his salaries, whatever, or he needs help. We have to help them from this fund. Some, for example, women, if they converted to Islam, the family, they will divorce them and kick them out. If there is no institutions among the community to help those people and give them the shelters and the houses and try to at least let them live the normal life, you know what's the result? 1 out of 2, even they will go back, leave this religion, or they will go to the other resources. And you don't know. This is a big fitna. And it's our responsibility. For that reason, as masajid, it's a good place to exchange information about fuqara, masakin, mu'allafa qulub, gharimin. No big deal. If you know somebody, tell. inform your brothers, your sisters, your community, and inshallah we can help. It's our responsibility as community. So those are the first or the most important four categories in the zakah receivers: faqir, miskin, gharim, and mu'allafa qulubum. We ask Allah for all of us, inshallah, the ilm, and to work with this ilm, to apply with this ilm, to inshallah accept from our Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala our intentions, our ibadah as your salah, as your salah. So if you have any question about the zakah, I will be here inshallah up to 3:30. You can ask, or you can call, you can email, you can come. And the last thing has nothing to do with Ramadan. People, they thought zakah I have to pay it in Ramadan. No. Zakah has due time. When you start your hawl, your calculation will be at the end of that year. When you start have the nisab, your due time at the end of this year. Can I pay my zakah before the time and make the calculation in that day? For example, I want to use Ramadan because Ramadan is a blessing month and there's a lot of hasanat. You can do that. There is no big deal. For example, I paid in Ramadan 500. My due time, for example, in December, I can make the calculation in December. Allah, if I have, for example, my zakat total 1,000, I paid 500 in Ramadan, I will make the deduct 500 and pay the 500. That's okay, but you have to write everything on a paper, so you will make sure I am paying my zakat, not less, not more. Not more, yes, not more. Pay the zakat as you pray Faridat al-Dhuhr. How many rak'ah? Can I pray 5 rak'ah is extra? No. As Faridah, you have to pay it what? Exactly. Now you want to do nafilah, you can pray nafilah at night as much as you want. Also the sadaqah. My zakah $520, 20 cents. This is my zakah. Pay it exactly. Then after that you want to do sadaqah. Allah Azza wa Jal accept from you as much as you want to do, inshallah. Should I tell my relatives that this is zakah money, or it's not a condition? Should I tell them? The ulama says yes. Tell them that, hey, my cousin, my friend, this is my zakah money. You know why? When you tell him that this is zakah money, he will not think to return it back to you. You will not put a pressure over his shoulder. Oh, my cousin give me this amount, I have to work hard to give him something or to return this money to him. You will put him in a big what? Pressure. No, tell him this is not a loan, this is not even a gift, it's your money, your right. So he will be what? Happy and no need to be shy. No, it's faridah. Amr halal. Allah Azza wa Jal said it in the Quran. It's faridah. Don't be shy, don't hesitate. This is my zakat. You want to write for him, that's fine. If you want to speak to him, you want him, Assalamu alaikum, this is my zakat money for you. May Allah accept from me and you, and Jazakallah khair. And that's it. Clear, inshallah? So we have to apply the hukum shari'i without hesitating, without being shy. Also, Allah mentions in Surah Al-Baqarah that if you give money as loans, write this deal down in a paper with witnesses, because a lot of problems among the same community, the same family, sometimes cousins, they have problem because of the loans. He gave him money, no witnesses, no piece of paper written, and everybody starts claiming that, hey, I gave you money back, you didn't give me. And some people, wallahi, this is wallahi make me unhappy. People, before they get the money from you, every day, Salamu alaikum, how are you, my cousin, message. He's willing to come and visit you, call you, message you. After he get the money from you, and they do time to return the money to you back, you will call him. Who are you? Or he didn't answer your phone, starts escape from your face. Why? In this way you will drive me and everybody not to do a khair in the community. Come to him, say, cousin, I want to pay this money back, but I'm a little bit behind. Give me more time. Be honest, be straight. Don't escape from his face. Don't help this shaitan to do ghaiba and namima for you. And it's a haqq. I know some people in the community, they took money since 20 years as loan. And they denied. Or they escaped. Change the subject. Don't worry, inshallah, inshallah, inshallah. Up to the moment that inshallah became what? A negative answer. Inshallah means forget about it. Well, this is Islamically haram. Inshallah means God willing, you have intention to do this money. And by the way, nobody will pass to paradise if he has loan to any person in this life without paying this loan up. In the hadith about the shaheed يغفر له كل شيء إلا الديون. إلا الدين, any loan, he has to pay this loan off to the owner. Be careful. We ask Allah for all of us, inshallah, the hidayah and the khair. Allahumma arhamna فإنك بنا راحم ولا تعذبنا فإنك علينا قادر والطف بنا يا مولانا بما جرت به المقادير.